Alright, boys and girls, and welcome to Gordon Guitar. We have PAULO Londra with a song called Chance or Chance. I'm not sure there. I'm not the best in Spanish. I will give this a try anyway. I was thinking of making PAULO Londra's Plan A while ago. I let that go, but this one I want to give a chance. Alright, so let's start right away with this one. We need to set our capo on the 4th fret. We have 4 chords to learn. So let's go over the chords first, and then we're gonna look at how to handle these chords in 2 different ways. So first chords, A minor. That is open A, second D, second G, first B, and open E. Next chord is F. So that's a bar here on the 1st fret, all strings, and the rest will be 3rd on A, 3rd on D, and 2nd on G. Next chord is D minor. So that is open D, 2nd G, 3rd B, and 1st E. And the final chord will be G. Alright, so that will be 3rd on E, 2nd on A, open D, open G, open B, and 3rd E. Alright, so there we have the chords. That is how they look in standard version. But now we're gonna handle this in 2 different ways. And we will look at one way first, and that is simply to pick all strings or make downstrokes. That will be the same. It's up to you to choose either way. Pick the strings needed or just downstrokes. So for A minor, you want to use the original chord as it is and pick the strings or make a downstroke for A, D, G, and B. And the reason for that is you want to emphasize the 1st fret on B string, this one. So when you use this way of down, try to stop at the B string, or you can just simply pick all the 4 strings between A and B like this. Try to emphasize the 1st fret B string. Okay, so for F, you do the same here. Now you want to pick or make a downstroke for the E, A, D, and the G string. The reason for that is you want to emphasize the 2nd fret G string, this one. So I go with the picking here. You can do the down and stop at the G. All right. So that's F. The D minor, you just make a downstroke for all these 4 strings from D and down, or pick them like that. And the final chord G here, you don't need the A string. So what you're gonna do here, yeah, if you do the downstroke, you do actually. So when you do the downstroke, you do a downstroke from the E, A, D, G, and the open B. All right, and the reason here is because we want to have the open B emphasized, this one. If you choose to make a picking for these strings, then pick the 3rd fret E string as a bass, and you also pick the open D, open G, and open B. Alright, so if you do downstroke, stop at B, otherwise pick these 4 strings. Alright, so when I do this, I go for the picking. That feels more controlled, and I don't have to think at stopping at a certain string or so. So I just pick the strings like this. Alright. So when I say down, when we look at the downs, then that means the downstroke or the picking simultaneously, all these strings, okay? So that is one way of handling the chords. The other one is to play this pattern. All right. So what you do there, for A minor, you hold the chord as it is, and you play open A, second D, second G, first B, back to second G, and back to second D. So you simply just go from A, D, G, B, G, D. One round like that, and that is A minor. Next chord is the F, the same pattern. This time you start at the E string. So first E, third A, third D, second G, and you go back to third D and third A. And the same goes with the next chord, the D minor. Follows the same pattern here. Now you start from the open D, second G, third B, first E, back to third B, and back to second G. And the same kind of pattern follows for G as well. Now you play this. And that is simply third on E, open D, open G, open B, back to open G, and back to open D. That I will call the picking. Okay, so we have the down technique, which is just down or pick the strings simultaneously like this, or we have the picking, and that is the technique we just looked at. And so on. So now let's go over the song pretty quick here. We have the first part starts with a pre-chorus, and that will be based upon 3 rounds of this chord progression: A minor, F, D minor, and G. Maybe I forgot to mention that will be a chord progression that goes through the entire song. So A minor, F, D minor, and G. Okay, so 3 rounds of down. Right, 3 rounds of that, and the final 4th round will be based upon the picking. All right, so that is the pre-chorus 1. Then comes the chorus, first chorus. You will continue there with 4 rounds of picking, and so on. Then comes a middle play after these 4 rounds, after the first chorus, and that will be 1 round of the down technique. Then comes the first verse. That consists of 4 rounds of picking. All right. And after that comes the second pre-chorus. That will be 2 rounds of down and then 2 rounds of the picking. So 2 rounds of and 2 rounds of picking, and so on. That takes us to the second chorus. That will be 4 rounds of picking, and the same goes with the second verse that comes right after it, 4 rounds of picking. Then we have the final parts left here, third pre-chorus. That will be 3 rounds of the picking and 1 round of the down technique, and it ends with the third chorus. That will be total of 8 rounds. The first 2 rounds are 2 downs, and the last 6 rounds will be picking. And then it ends with an outro part, 1 round of the down technique. And that pretty much covers Paulo Londra's chance, not sure there. I believe it's pronounced chance, perhaps. I don't know. Anyway, I hope this was helpful, guys, and I hope you enjoyed this. If it was, please let me know. Thumb up, subscribe. Love you guys who subscribed, and it's pretty amazing to see this channel grow. I couldn't expect that from a year ago. So great. Thank you for all the support, and play tuned.